We did promise them that we would talk about Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
Kubrick was, he had just done Paths of Glory, I think, or one of his
Probably.
other great works.
Yeah.
And so he was in New York looking at actors to play generals. So he wanted to see George C. Scott. Although he knew he wanted George, he wanted to see him work out in Shakespeare in the Park.
Merchant of
as
Venice?
Shylock, Merchant of Venice. So he came to see it. He also, I was playing Prince of Morocco. So this is not verbatim, but he said, I'll take the black one too. And I will not accuse Kubrick of saying that, but that's essentially what the thought was.
One white and one black to go.
Well, no, he wanted George C. Scott, and he wanted a B-52 crew of every ethnic. The ethnic crew. A Jew, an Irishman, a Canadian even, and a black guy, and an American Indian. He said, I'll take the black one too.
And you got to be the black one?
That's how I got to be the black one.
You'll never know the pain of being called the W word, will you?
White?
Whitey.
It's painful to hear it.
I was called Whitey once, the only time in my life.
Yeah. See, black people tend to do that and not thinking it's just as offensive as being called,
I was so flabbergasted. A guy said, "Watch where you're going, Whitey." I'd made a bad turn. And I said, "I need your advice, Blackie." That was fair, wasn't it?
Of course it was.
Okay. But we've probably offended people of both races now. The people in the profession are being offended these days. They've got their pens and papers already.
Yes. No,
and then the guy laughed, and that completely disconcerted me because he was shocked, I think. And he went, But I said, I didn't ask to be born this color. Yeah. And then he laughed again. I'd love to find this guy. He was on the corner of 96th and Lexington.
Guy to know. Yeah, I'd like to know him also.
Wonder who he was. So Kubrick ordered one black and one white to go and got you into Dr. Strangelove. But you say he isn't that sort of person to really say it that literally. You were
Kubrick
careful.
was obsessed with the subject of power. I think probably in his personal life too.
Power.
Obsessed with it. Because all of his great movies are about that, about power, the abuse of power, especially about the use of power, about his Paths of Glory. Just
tell us more about in his personal life.
No, I don't know about his personal life. The Kubrick I know, he chews gum, very sort of offhand.
Gum?
Yeah, chews gum on the set, very offhand.
I met Ingmar Bergman, and he had a cap pistol. And I thought it was more fun. Isn't this great? And this is Ingmar Bergman. I must have the wrong Bergman. But it's startling.
John has firecrackers. He throws off all the time. Yeah.
Kubrick chews gum. Well, a lot of young directors are going to start chewing gum, hearing you say that. Steep down gulfs of liquid fire, is it?
Oh, that's wonderful.
That line, what is that, 6 words from Othello? Yeah. If you'd only written those 6 words, you could feel you had done your part. What speech does that come in? Where is that? Near the end of the play? Steep down gulfs. It is Othello, isn't it? And not.
It's after she's dead.
Not Dagwood.
Yeah, no, it's after she's dead.
Yeah.
Because he's whipping himself now. He's saying, "What a fool I was," He's just killed Desdemona.
Down gulfs of liquid fire.
That's what he wishes on his head. He wished they would.
Did you find it as curious as I did when O.J., you've heard of him, the famous trial, when he wrote what I take to be a confessional and suicide note from the very beginning, there were no two ways about it. I mean, if your wife's been slaughtered by a stranger, do you say, "Remember me as I was"? Wouldn't you talk about her a little? He said, "Remember me as I was, not this confused figure," and so on. Remember that? Was that among the things you would not say if your wife was murdered by someone else? Is "remember me as I was"? To me, the whole case is right there. But anyway, he said, maybe I loved her too much. Did that ring a bell with someone who's played Othello how many times?
Who loved not wisely but too well.
Mm.
Yeah. But remember
and then
me
strangled a
as
white
I am.
woman.
Remember me as I am. Yeah, that was.
Is that in there too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that just gave me goose pimples.
Just the verb is different.
He must have had to study it in school and probably unconsciously.
But I think O.J. must have read it too.
Must have. That's 2 Othello quotes. And then, of course, there's These little hands will ne'er be clean from another one, but we don't want to get too Shakespearean here.
Maybe Judge Ito ought to get onto that one. Huh?
Could your son read Penrod in this age of political correctness and enjoy it?
He likes buckwheat.
You like buckwheat?
You know, he calls it buttwheat.
Buttwheat.
And totally politically incorrect when he howls with laughter about buttwheat. Now, my son he has no concern about politics at all, especially the correct kind.
Yeah. You haven't banned Huckleberry Finn from his reading.
No.
Can you imagine that snooty
my
school
son is
in
of
Connecticut?
all three races, you know, so there's not much I can ban.
There's no way to find the borders in you. But you said somewhere once, I am going to stop right here, the chain of no fathers in my heritage. Maybe you said
That's easy. That's easy. I mean, it's quite easy to be a father, to be a cousin father. I think the hard thing is to be the abandoning father, to be the absentee father. That's very hard on the psyche, you know. I don't.
Especially since
whatever they're escaping, they've also run into, you know.
They pay the price.
Oh yeah.
When you finally met your real dad, I mean your father, who'd taken one look at you as an infant and said, "I'm hitting the road," was it awkward? Was it? How'd you find him?
Awkward because I was now bigger than, you know, someone you lift up like this.
You could pick Dad up.
I could pick Dad up. I just gotten out of my not the Army, but my ROTC, Fort Benning, Georgia. You know, I'd been down there and all pumped up, and we hugged each other, and you know, it was just odd because
you came to New York to find him.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to do the storybook version, yeah.
He was known, though, wasn't
there
he?
were foot tracks in the sand. Yeah, he was known.
Yeah.
And I came to find him. You know, I
say-
came to meet him because he had offered me a trip to New York when I was 14, and I was forbidden to come.
Did a door open, and there he was behind it, and you said, "I'm your son"?
No, I got off a train in Far Rockaway, and he was there in his bathing suit, strapping, you know, handsome.
We knew you were going to.
Very handsome man.
Yeah.
And he walked along the tracks in his bare feet, and we hugged, and there, you know, the passing trains. Yeah.
It's a nice scene for the movie of your life.
But we with Charles Barkley playing me. We didn't know what to do with these, and we made the mistake of trying to mess with the identities. You know, he had his identity, I had mine, and to be father-son, you got to have some sort of a blend. And we tried to mess with that alchemy, and it was a big mistake. It still is. I mean, when he and I try to be father-son, it's a big mistake because it's alchemistry that has to have started back in the mortar and pestle, and it didn't. So
And you had no past to draw
No,
on.
there's
with
no-
him, so
no.
you couldn't really, And it was felt false to try to be father and
yeah,
son.
it was you know, blood doesn't mean anything
Yeah.
of itself, you know, except DNA.
Right, which takes us right back to that inevitable subject. Did we send a big enough car for you today up in wherever you live that we won't reveal?
I could have brought the horse and the chickens and the pigs in that.
And the Knicks.
And the Knicks, right? Long-legged. Yeah, I could have. Yeah.
They have this car that a gangster would find in poor taste. It's so long and luxurious. It's almost embarrassing. And what if the revolution broke out when you're sitting in a 20-foot long limo? I guess they thought you wanted
Salvatore is a good driver, so I think you'd be fairly safe with him.
They thought you might have wanted to lie down in various places in it. I saw that. You made an interesting observation about the car. In profile, it looks like the male member. And I think the new Ford penis with all the, I mean, I can see this would be a good parody commercial idea.
Fully extended, yeah.
James, before, is there anybody who doesn't know that you are a voice that everybody knows in one sense? Do you ever just for fun in the back of an elevator talk as Darth Vader?
No, I've only done it once. I was driving across country with a CB radio, and I used Darth Vader as my handle. Freaked a lot of people out, you know. When it got to the truck stop, it was kind of there was a buzz about it, you know. So I decided not to do that anymore.
Are there people who don't have enough ear to know that you are Darth Vader? I mean, you're the voice of...
Oh, sure. I didn't know that Charlton was doing this. This is CNBC until I was told, because it was a very particular choice he made. And not that he's trying to disguise his voice or in more than I do, but they're just choices you make.
He kind of acts it. It's interesting.
Yeah. And no, I don't play with it. I'm lucky that it comes out enough to talk to you right now. I have no presumptions or no arrogance about my voice. One would think that I might even be in love with my voice. I'm not, because it would be the most unfaithful lover I've ever had, because it fails me often.
How?
Because I'm a stutterer. Because not only a stutterer, being a stutterer for that long in my developing years, I can't have an extemporaneous conversation. That is, I cannot be an MC, for instance. It's impossible for me. I can't string ideas and words together that well.
Some of the very best people are stutterers, and I haven't heard you stutter.
Oh, that's because you accept it. It's sort of
Well, maybe I'm erasing it mentally because I like you and I don't want
Marlon Brando made the American speech stutterable. He made the halt and all that.
Hesitation,
very fashionable,
acceptable.
Now,
this gets into a delicate subject, and I haven't forgotten the story I was going to tell, I hope. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, one of the roles you've always wanted to play that presumably isn't open to you is the fabulous part of Big Daddy, which the late Burl Ives, recently played. Yeah. Now we get into that whole question of that nonsense that happened when Miss Saigon came here. And a bunch of misguided people didn't want a white man playing an Asian. Why didn't an Asian get to play it?
They used to say, whatever door is the rustiest or squeaks the most gets the oil. It's whatever people who are in the most pain gets the protest, and that, as simple as that. And sometimes the protest is totally irrelevant.
Well, what's art got to do with democracy? It's an the only aristocracy you can defend is the one of talent.
If you want to
and the best person gets the part.
Right.
Period.
But if you want to deal with pain, unemployment pain, look at the Asian community in terms of jobs on Broadway, off-Broadway, movies, TV. Look, if you hear blacks complaining.
Well, I feel, because and what do they got to look for? I mean, the Mikado doesn't even employ real Asians because it was written to be played by English.
Yeah.
But but the idea that I think I said in my nasty letter to the Times, did Burton get to do Hamlet because there were no Danes out of work? It just doesn't apply to art. The director can have anyone he wants.
But if you played the late Diana Sands once said that she probably had as much a grip on Chekhov's ladies as Kim Stanley did, and true. Culturally, she understood them the same way that Kim did.
Yeah.
Just didn't look quite Russian.
Are you saying that if you played a white man like Big Daddy, that after a few lines, people would just be overcome by the acting and forget about the fact that...
I would hope so, but I wouldn't trust it. I've also wanted to play Ernest Hemingway. Yeah. I think there you owe the audience the look. And I get the best makeup artist I get fine.
What do you think of Olivier's Othello? I just
saw
a bit of it the other night.
It's wonderful.
And why did all the little pissant British critics leap all over him for that?
Because he was daring, but I think what they missed was they should have busted Frank Finlay for his Iago. It was a piece of crap, really.
Yeah.
But, I mean, total...
Is that a negative assessment?
Please don't believe me, Yeah. Which was Chris Plummer's choice, too. Please don't believe me, because this is really scary. Iago is the scariest character in any play Shakespeare ever wrote. He's Hamlet gone the other way around. Mm-hmm. And actors are afraid of him. They don't want to play the tragedy of Iago. They rather play the farce.
They play a flip Iago.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that.
Yeah. Frank Finley's backstage now. He's coming right?
And then Bob Hoskins turned in a bigger piece of crap with Jonathan Miller. The directing.
As what?
The TV version of Othello.
Hoskins was a lousy...
Was Iago, yeah.
Holy mackerel.
I mean,
But the greatest actors, Ralph Richardson had a total disaster in Macbeth, and he said, I never saw the dagger once. I'm going to tell you this quickly. Jackie Gleason's father abandoned him as a kid. He spent almost his whole life looking for him. I asked a comedy writer once, who's the worst schmuck you ever worked with? He said, Jackie Gleason, a famous comedy writer. One day, a bunch of writers were sitting around outside Gleason's office. I got to get the story in. And he kept them waiting and waiting and waiting for hours. And one of them said, finally, to hell with it, I'm leaving. And the lady said, what shall I tell Mr. Gleason? And he said, tell him his dad dropped by. All his life, he had looked for his father. Isn't that a cruelly wicked thing to say? Now, a comedy writer who can come up with that is certainly worth his money and shouldn't be lost to the staff.